We are saved by faith alone, but the faith that saves is never alone. It is not the failure of others to appreciate your abilities that should trouble you, but rather your failure to appreciate theirs. I will no longer mutilate and destroy myself in order to find a secret behind the ruins. Being sensitive is a gift that fosters peace. Help create a kinder, gentler world by embracing it. Tomorrow hopes we have learned something from yesterday. As for methods of prayer, all are good, as long as they are sincere. People will always have opinions about your decision because they're not courageous enough to take action on their opinion. If you can remember why you started, then you will know why you must continue. Kant thought things, not because they were true, but because he was Kant. Focus on making yourself better, not on thinking that you're better. If anyone on the verge of action should judge himself according to the outcome, he would never begin. You can't be brave if you've only had wonderful things happen to you. Properly practiced, knitting soothes the troubled spirit, and it doesn't hurt the untroubled spirit either. A bird is safe in its nest, but that is not what its wings are made for. You can change your mind. Don't let your mind change you. To burn always with this hard gem-like flame, to maintain this ecstasy, is success in life. Success is a little like wrestling a gorilla. You don't quit when you're tired. You quit when the gorilla is tired. Sometimes letting go is simply changing the labels you place on an event, looking at the same event with fresh eyes. Imagine no limitations. Decide what's right and desirable before you decide what's possible. I have two enemies in all the world, two twins, inseparably fused, the hunger of the hungry and the fullness of the full. Whether you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. My body is my journal, and my tattoos are my story. Faith in Quranic revelation unveils all the possibilities that lie before the human intellect. Failure is not when you fail once, but when you refuse to learn from your mistake. If you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life. There's a very positive relationship between people's ability to accomplish any task and the time they're willing to spend on it. The easiest way to be reborn is to live and feel life every day. We are at our most powerful the moment we no longer need to be powerful. Sometimes the best of God's gifts arrive by the shattering of all the window panes. There's nothing in the world that breeds success like success. Books have a way of finding their way into our lives, usually right when we need them the most. Yet he who reigns within himself and rules passions, desires, and fears is more a king. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. For the first time in a long time, I want more than I have. You know, the minute you stop thinking about it, it'll happen. The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. The truth is messy. It's raw and uncomfortable. You can't blame people for preferring lies. The camera is an instrument that teaches people how to see without a camera. Sometimes one likes foolish people for their folly, better than wise people for their wisdom. Personal perception of perfection is like that. You see what you want to see. After a while, you just see what you need to. I could react or respond to your maliciousness against me, but I'm busy with stock-taking, counting my blessings one by one. Life isn't supposed to play out the way we want, but the way it happens. Be sure what you want, and be sure about yourself. Don't carry your mistakes around with you. Place them on the floor and use them as stepping stones to where you want to go. Tomorrow is promised to no one. Prioritize today accordingly. The only real battle in life is between hanging on and letting go. Don't be scared to live your life without judgment. You may choose to look the other way, but you can never say again that you did not know. The real question of life after death isn't whether or not it exists, but even if it does, what problem this really solves. Sometimes you can see things happen right in front of your eyes and still jump to the wrong conclusions. Giving thanks fills you with light and joy so you can shine like the bright star you truly are. All men want, not something to do with, but something to do, or rather something to be. The cost of a thing is the amount of what I will call life which is required to be exchanged for it, immediately or in the long run. The bounties of space, of infinite outwardness, were three: empty heroics, low comedy, and pointless death. You will never be able to escape from your heart, so it's better to listen to what it has to say. Facts are like cows. If you look them in the face long enough, they generally run away. All human beings have three lives: public, private, and secret. We should be humble in our approach, but should not grumble towards life. Just like the sun dispels the shadows of the night each morning, embracing your heart's true desire is the only way to dispel fear and doubt. I'd rather have cancer than a dishonest heart, which isn't being pious, just practical. Cancer may cool you, but the other's sure to. Those who rest when they need to work will work when they need to rest. Do your bit when it is most rewarding. And I remembered something else that makes us human: faith, the only weapon in our arsenal to battle doubt. Don't have hope that your situation will be better. Have hope that your future will be brighter. It is not a failure to readjust my sails to fit the waters I find myself in. However beautiful the strategy, you should occasionally look at the results. We never live. We are always in the expectation of living. Through all of living, have much joy and laughter. Life is to be enjoyed, not just endured. Do you not then hear this horrible scream all around you that people usually call silence? I found out that there weren't too many limitations if I did it my way. Most of the basic material a writer works with is acquired before the age of 15. Fear is nothing more than a negative assessment of risk. Nobody made a greater mistake than he who did nothing because he could do only a little. If you find yourself drawn to an event against all logic, go. The universe is telling you something. The single most powerful element of youth is that you don't have the life experiences to know what can't be done. I believe that just because something didn't go the way you planned it once, it's no reason not to try again. Surround yourself only with people who are going to take you higher. You fall because you are human, and rise because you are divine. It all goes away. Eventually, everything goes away. A man travels the world over in search of what he needs and returns home to find it. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Be water, my friend. I'd rather learn from one bird how to sing than teach 10,000 stars how not to dance. Life is a blank canvas, and you need to throw all the paint on it you can. It's better to have a few faithful friends than numerous shallow friendships. We have been moving along at such a fast pace that we no longer know what we are doing. Now we have to wait until our soul catches up with us. Gratitude is best refined through the fires of adversity. I'm hungry for a juicy life. I lean out my window at night, and I can taste it out there, just waiting for me. Face reality as it is, not as it was, or as you wish it to be. He who takes offense when no offense is intended is a fool, and he who takes offense when offense is intended is a greater fool. The trouble with fiction, said John Rivers, is that it makes too much sense. Reality never makes sense. What we do is more important than what we say or what we say we believe. Challenges in life can either enrich you or poison you. You are the one who decides. It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters. Bring forward what is true. Write it so that it is clear. Defend it to your last breath. Understanding is a three-edged sword. Your side, their side, and the truth. The tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule begins. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. In the end, the world always wins. That's just the way of things. If you have the guts to be yourself, other people pay your price. When you have power and use it for destructive purpose, you don't deserve it. This life is not a movie, and sometimes I forget that.